Ngozi and Obinna had been longing for a child. They sought help from various traditional healers, and Ngozi drank many concoctions in hopes of conceiving. Finally, their prayers were answered and Ngozi became pregnant. Obinna showered Ngozi with love and affection during her pregnancy, eagerly anticipating the arrival of their long-awaited child. However, when Ada was born with a hunchback, Obinna's joy turned to disappointment and anger. He blamed Ngozi for giving him such a child, feeling betrayed by fate. In their village, children born with deformities were seen as curses and were often cast away into the evil forest. Despite Obinna's desire to abandon Ada, Ngozi fiercely protected her daughter, vowing to raise her by herself without his help. Aware of the villagers' harsh judgment towards children like Ada, Ngozi promised to keep her hidden from prying eyes. Determined to shield her from harm, she always covered her head to her waistline with clean clothes so her hunchback would not be visible. As Ada grew up alongside her siblings, Mmesoma and Ebubechi, her father Obinna showered special favoritism towards them while disregarding Ada. Despite being his daughter, Obinna treated Ada with disdain and contempt, refusing to acknowledge her worth. Despite Ada's striking beauty, her oval-shaped face, pointed nose and mesmerizing dark blue eye, her sisters harbored jealousy towards her. They couldn't bear the fact that Ada possessed a rare beauty that surpassed their own. Instead of celebrating Ada's uniqueness, they allowed their envy to foster, leading them to belittle and mistreat her. Their jealousy twisted their perceptions, causing them to lash out at Ada, using her hunchback as a means to diminish her beauty. They cruelly remarked, "Look at how beautiful you are, beauty that the gods should have given to a complete humans like us. He wasted it on you. Maybe you are from the marine world that come to live among men. That is why God punished you with hunchback." Unable to reconcile Ada's physical uniqueness with their own insecurities, they vented their frustration and jealousy on her. While Mmesoma and Ebubechi enjoyed a life of comfort and leisure at home, Ada was burdened with all the household chores and hard work. She cooked, fetched firewood, fetched water from the stream, and toiled in the field, while her sisters relaxed without lifting a finger. Obinna's unfair treatment extended beyond household chores. He forbade Ada from being associated with his family in public. Ashamed of her appearance and fearful of the villagers' judgments, Ada endured his cruelty in silence, longing for acceptance and love from her father. Denied the basic necessities by her father, Ada was forced to fend for herself from a young age. With no support from her family, she worked tirelessly in people's farm and sold firewood to earn a meager income. However, her efforts were often in vain, as her father and sisters would sometimes take the money she earned and even physically abuse her. Despite the cruelty she faced at home, Ada's struggles extended beyond her family. Her peers treated her with contempt, unveiling her and mocking her appearance and belittling her worth. The laughter and taunts of her peers echoed in her ears, leaving her feeling worthless. But she refused to let their taunts extinguish her inner light as she draws comfort from her mother, who shows her unconditional love, care, and affection. As suitors began to court Ada's sisters, particularly Mmesoma, Ada was purposefully hidden away by her family. They feared that Ada's hunchback would tarnish their family's reputation and potentially deter potential suitors from marrying into their lineage. The stigma surrounding Ada's condition was so deeply ingrained that they believed suitors would associate her hunchback with their family and refuse to marry into a bloodline tainted by such a threat. In their efforts to protect their daughter's marital prospects, Ada was relegated to the shadows, denied the chance to participate in the excitement of courtship and marriage. Similar to Mmesoma, when suitors came to court Ada's other sister Ebubechi, she found herself hidden away as well. Despite her tireless efforts in cleaning, cooking, and preparing for the wedding festivals, Ada was ultimately excluded from the public's eyes. Upon the arrival of the suitors, Ada was confined to a room. Her presence deemed potentially damaging to her sister's marital prospects. The fear of association with Ada's hunchback overshadowed any recognition of Ada's contributions to the household and the wedding preparations. In the face of her daughter's exclusion, Ada's mother, Ngozi, fought tirelessly to stop the injustice, yet her efforts were in vain. With a heavy heart, she consoled Ada, who questioned her worth and prospect of finding love and acceptance. As Ada poured out her fears and doubts, wondering if anyone could ever love her in her condition, Ngozi embraced her daughter with love and reassurance. She reminded Ada of her inherent value and the special purpose the God had bestowed upon her. "My daughter, the gods have a reason why they blessed me with you, after I have searched for a child for a very long time, and I know you are destined to be great." With tears in her eyes, Ngozi recounted the prophecy she received from the river goddess, who foretold the birth of a child destined for greatness. Despite Ada's hunchback, Ngozi's love for her daughter knew no bounds, and she vowed to always cherish and protect her. In Ngozi's tender embrace, Ada found comfort and strength, knowing that she was deeply loved and valued by her mother. Despite the challenges she faced, Ada held onto the belief that nothing could derail her destiny, for she was a child of the gods, destined for greatness. With her sisters married and her household responsibilities diminished, Ada found herself with more time to focus on her own pursuits. Freed from the burden of endless chores, she seized the opportunity to expand her small business of selling firewoods, palm fruits, and vegetables at the market. One early Eke market day, while on her way to the market, Ada encountered Uwazuoromu. When a snake struck him with a venomous bite, Ada swiftly came to his aid, rushing into the bush to gather herbs to treat his wound. Grateful for her timely intervention, Uwazuoromu invited Ada to his home to continue her care and to treat him. For days, Ada tended to him diligently, bringing delicious food and medicine to aid in his recovery. Her selfless actions touched Uwazuoromu's heart, and he found himself drawn to her kindness and gentle spirit. As they spent time together, Uwazuoromu couldn't help but feel a deep connection forming between them. Curious about the woman who had shown him such compassion, he inquired about her identity and family background. Ada hesitated to reveal her name and her father's name, unsure of how her father would react for revealing his identity as her father to a stranger. But he persuaded her, and she finally told him, unsure of how he would react to her humble background. Moved by Ada's kindness and sincerity, Uwazuoromu expressed his desires to meet the parents who had raised such a remarkable daughter. However, Ada hesitated, fearing her father's reaction. Confused by her reluctance, Uwazuoromu pressed Ada for an explanation. With a heavy heart, Ada confided in him, revealing her father's disdain for her hunchback and his disapproval of her existence. Despite being her birth father, Obinna's rejection of Ada's condition had left her feeling unworthy of love and acceptance. In response, Uwazuoromu reassured Ada of her inherent beauty and worth, emphasizing that her physical condition mattered little to him. To him, what truly mattered was the purity of her heart and the depth of her compassion. Gradually, Uwazuoromu found himself irresistibly drawn to Ada's kind heart, her unwavering work ethics, and the delicious meals she prepared with love. With each passing day, his admiration for her grew until he could no longer contain the feeling stirring within him. Confessing his love for Ada, Uwazuoromu expressed his appreciation for all that she was. He admired her inner beauty, her resilience, and the angelic grace that radiated from her despite the challenges she faced. To him, Ada was a rare gem, a treasure worth cherishing for a lifetime. Overwhelmed by his words of affection, Ada found herself filled with a mixture of confusion and joy. No one had ever appreciated her for who she truly was, her flaws and all. In Uwazuoromu's eyes, she found acceptance and love in its purest form, and her heart swelled with happiness at this realization. Ada embraced Uwazuoromu, her heart overflowing with love for the man who had seen past her imperfection and loved her unconditionally. In that moment, their love blossomed, transcending the barriers of society. As Uwazuoromu's stay came to an end, he made a heartfelt promise to return with his people to seek Ada's hand in marriage. Overjoyed by his declaration of love, Ada eagerly accepted without hesitation, bidding him a tearful goodbye as he departed. Filled with excitement, Ada rushed home to share the news with her parents, hoping for their approval and blessing. While her mother rejoiced at the prospect of Ada finding love and happiness, her father's reaction was dismissive and cold. Disheartened by her father's lack of support, Ada persisted in sharing the details of Uwazuoromu's love and sincerity. She spoke of his name, his village, and his unwavering affection for her, hoping to sway her father's opinion. However, her father remained skeptical, insisting that he needs to see Uwazuoromu and his people in person before he could believe in their intentions. Despite her father's doubt, Ada held onto the promise of love and happiness that Uwazuoromu had offered. On the much-awaited day of Uwazuoromu's return, Ada adorned herself in exquisite attire, her heart aflutter with anticipation. As Uwazuoromu and his entourage arrived in grandeur, the sight left Ada and her family awestruck. Never could they have imagined that Ada had captured the heart of a king himself. Amidst the spectacle of the royal procession, Ada's mother couldn't help but wonder if Ada had known Uwazuoromu's true identity all along. With a mixture of surprise and admiration, she questioned her daughter, but Ada's response mirrored her own astonishment. In truth, Ada had been unaware of Uwazuoromu's royal status. Their love had blossomed in the simplicity of their shared moments together. Uwazuoromu is a young king of Umukachi Kingdom who found himself surrounded by young maidens seeking for his attention. Feeling overwhelmed by the pressure of his royal position and the expectation placed upon him, Uwazuoromu made the bold decision to embark on a journey in disguise. Disguised as a commoner, he set out from his kingdom in search of a bride who would capture his heart for who he truly was, not for his royal status or wealth. It was on this occasion while he was in search of a wife in Ada's village that he encountered Ada. But as for Ada, little did she and her family know the identity of the man who had captured her heart. As she stood before the king and his people, Ada's heart swelled with gratitude for the unexpected turn of fate that had brought them together. In that moment, Ada realized that love knows no bounds of ranks or status. With the bright price paid in full, Ada bid farewell to her family and followed Uwazuoromu to his kingdom. Her sisters and father watched in astonishment as Ada, a girl with a hunchback, embarked on a journey to become the queen of a neighboring community. News of the unexpected union spread like wildfire through the village, sparking conversation and reflections amongst its inhabitants. As the villagers learned of Ada's extraordinary love story, they came to realize the profound truth that true beauty transcends physical appearance. Ada's radiant spirit and kind heart had captured the heart of a king, proving that inner qualities far outweighed external attributes. Reflecting on the consequences of his actions, Ada's father was filled with remorse for his past behavior. He realized the error of his ways in showing favoritism towards Ada's sisters and neglecting to instill important values in them. Recognizing the importance of equality and fairness, he acknowledged his role in contributing to Mmesoma and Ebubechi's inability to manage household chores and fulfill their marital duties, because their husbands sent them back home to learn the skills necessary for daily life, which is a shameful thing in the Umoji community, that a woman can't cook the food of their people. With humility in their hearts, Ada's family approached her, seeking forgiveness for their past actions. They expressed sincere remorse for their mistreatment of Ada and acknowledged the hurt they had caused her. Touched by their genuine apology, Ada embraced her family with forgiveness and understanding. Ada's sisters, humbled by their experience and newfound understanding, calmed down to learn the skills necessary for daily life. Under their mother's patient guidance, they began to master the act of cooking, cleaning, and managing household chores, determined to become self-sufficient and responsible individuals. Ada and Uwazuoromu's love continued to blossom in their kingdom. Ada's hunchback was seen not as a flaw, but as a symbol of strength and resilience, admired by all who knew her. As queen, Ada brought compassion and wisdom to her people, especially on the matter of people born with deformities, helping them to understand that nobody plans to be born deformed, and it is a condition we have little or no control of. So when we see ourselves or other people born with this condition, we need to show them love, care, and compassion in order to help them cope with feeling of worthlessness and help them rise beyond their condition. Ada earned the love and respect of her people by her kindness. Uwazuoromu, ever devoted to Ada, stood by her side as her partner in life and in leadership. Together, they ruled their kingdom with fairness and compassion, ensuring equality, prosperity, and harmony for all their subjects.